All right. Going up Upper Harvey on Monday. Today is September 11th, 2023. Thinking about September 11th, 2001, when I was living 100 miles.
Lap 2, 2816.
100 miles north of NYC, and we had to evacuate. Not evacuate, we had to send the children home. I was teaching elementary school. I remember I was in the middle of teaching a third grade class, and my principal came in and said, a plane hit the towers and we're all going home, and we're sending the students home, and the teachers are going to convene in the faculty room. Excuse me. And we sent the kids home, and we all went in the room and watched the television. It was a horrible, horrible thing. Some of my students had parents that worked in New York City. My ex-husband was in DC for a conference not too far away from where the Pentagon was hit. My daughter was in 6th grade. And so no matter what your political views are, that was a really sucky day. And I remember thinking, what if there's going to be more bombings? And what if this was the end? And I remember thinking, like, have I had a good enough life? And then when everything was over and my husband finally returned home, I remember weeping as I greeted him at the door, having guilt, survivor's guilt, thinking that I had my person and so many others did not have their person. Ooh. And I think about the firefighters climbing up the steps in the towers. And my daughter was only in 6th grade, and she was, normal 6th grader, whatever. She didn't quite understand it at the time, or so I thought. But then, when she was 16, she became a volunteer firefighter, trained interior and exterior. She's about 5 foot tall. She weighed like 100 and something, nothing. She crawled through burning buildings for her training. The equipment weighed more than she did. So, that was a bad, bad day. One other thing I remember very, very clearly, being a New Yorker, and I wish we could somehow get back to this at some point. I remember everyone being like extra, extra nice and helpful to people. People were greeting people on the street. People were helping. It was a very remarkable sensation. And I know I'm guilty of being annoyed if people don't have the same views as I do. So, I'm climbing. I'm dedicating this climb to September 11th. All the victims, the first responders, all the people that lost their lives. And let's not forget about all the people that had repercussions afterwards with cancer from inhaling all the toxic dust. I know people personally who suffered after effects. But here's the deal. We're still here. And we still have a chance. to live our lives with gratitude and joy. And if you're so inclined, maybe contribute a tiny bit to make the world a safer, better place. September 11th.